put together any videos lately, so I figured it's Sunday, why not do a live stream? So we are up here at the Burton farm, and we got the 82 here with the Earthmaster 3000 VT. Now this farm was chiseled last fall, so we're coming through and we're hitting it once with the VT. They already spread fertilizer on it. You might be able to see the little specks in the dirt there. But just gonna be smoothing this out because Travis is just over the hill at my no-till field, and he got started on that. That's 54 acres. This farm is, I want to say it's closer to 70. The farm itself is 90, but by the time you factor in all the waterways and untillable ground, it's smaller. So I should be able to get this one done. If I'm doing maybe 10 or 11 acres in an hour, I should be able to do it in 6 or 7 hours. So what do you say we hop back in the tractor and get started? I actually did the first couple passes around this part. It is currently 11 a.m. 11:02. Hey, buddy. There we go. It's been a while since I've done a live stream, so this is it's bittersweet. So I got the VT back there. You can see that I've done everything on the lower side. I was trying to do everything I was trying to do all the spots that don't have cell phone coverage, but I'm a little bit further up the hill, so hopefully I won't cut out at all. 6 p.m. in South Africa, nice. But I get a 49.55? Probably. Will I anytime soon? Maybe not quite. So how are we all doing? I'm gonna set my camera up here, and hopefully my phone doesn't accidentally shut off, because it has a really good habit of doing that. Kind of miss doing weekly live streams, but the hard part for me is making it work, because most nights during the week especially I'm focused on getting a video made. So I make videos 3 or 4 times a week, and then on the weekends, every other weekend I go over to Hannah's place and then she comes over to ours. So how many gallons of fuel per hour does the tractor use under load? Depends what you're doing. Right now, just sitting here idling, it's using 0.9 gallons an hour. So I'll give you an update on that once I keep going. It's going pretty good. 8410s are actually pretty nice tractors. Hannah and I still are dating Ben. What were the weights on your planter Snapchat story? I have a similar planter and can't get it to go into the ground. I believe those are wheel weights. I don't know what size they were or anything, but that was on the planter that Andrew brought. I'm gonna be making a video out of that. Oh, somebody donated $50. Hey Ethan, how's it going? Thanks for donating. It's very generous of you. Where's the intern when you have work to be done? Well, this is technically supposed to be my weekend to go over to her place, but we're doing field work, so getting the crops in takes precedence. Now, we were out planting yesterday, and we had Andrew bring his planter down. Well, not technically his planter, but we'll talk about that in the video that I'm coming out with. But I was doing filming pretty much all day yesterday, and I got my summer tan going all in one day. I was pretty burned by the end of the day, even though I didn't feel like I spent that much time outside, but I guess I was walking around, and it was really hot yesterday. Hey Colton, we're gonna drive right past your farm in about 10 to 15 minutes. Well, be sure to wave. Someone's there, but I'm not. Unless you're driving by this one. But finished corn yesterday. I bought the 4640 my grandfather had back in the 90s in a local auction a few days ago. Oh, good for you, bud. keeping it in the family or bringing it back in, one or the other. So, hey Kendra, how's it going? Anyway, like I said, we're out here in the VT. What machine would you buy tomorrow if you could? I don't know, a 9R, even though I don't have a use for one yet. If we had a big tractor, then we could get a big implement to pull it with. Use to pull it. I'm gonna get started here. We're doing field work while you're doing fences. Don't worry, our time's coming. So, yeah, I'm just kind of gonna give you guys a few updates on what's going on around here. I got my brush mower running. In between trying to get things planted, I've been hauling corn. I've pretty much got all of the corn hauled out except for maybe 4 loads. And corn just hit $7 on Friday, and it's kind of the waiting game to see what it does, what the future markets do tonight and tomorrow. So this is, I think we got 3 more fields left to plant. They're all about the same size. We've got one that's about 45 acres. This one's roughly 70, 75. Travis is doing mine, which is 54. Now, since mine was no-tilled over there, Travis could just start going. I have 2 to VT yet because they were chiseled. Hi from Orfordville, Wisconsin. What tractor are you in? I am currently in the 8235R, our tractor. Someone asked what was up with the 7210, and that's actually a leased tractor that Andrew was running, but that's going to be a whole video on it. Be sure you don't miss that one because I got some pretty cool shots. So something cool that we're doing, or that Andrew did for us, was last night he went down to Travis's place and he seeded in 2 different varieties of corn. So we're hoping that we can see the differences this summer, because he seeded my logo in straight back down there. So definitely going to be doing a couple flybys over to see what it looks like. Nice suspenders, thanks. They're more for function than for looks. People give me crap for it all the time, but I'll definitely take comfort over looks. Actually, like today, I don't even really need these. When I really prefer to wear these, or when I'm bending over a lot, especially when I'm hauling corn, because like trying to open and close the traps, trying to pull up your pants while opening up the traps just isn't very comfortable. So I'll give you guys a view of the front. What is your favorite machine that you own? Easily for me, the JCB Teleskid. I freaking love that thing. Speaking of the Teleskid, I didn't really record it. I should have, but we've only done it twice now. But I'm new to tracks, so kind of give me a break there. But we've thrown the tracks in the JCB twice. I've done it partially multiple times, but once fully once. Travis was the first one to throw the tracks, and he did that in a creek. So when we were trying to work on it, half the tracks were underwater. So that was quite the experience. And I didn't film any of that because I was just more concerned about getting them back on. But next time I throw a track, I'm probably going to film it. So, how's the X730 holding? I think it's holding up pretty good. Mom and Dad seem to like it. My mower's holding up pretty well too. I bought that one on an auction a couple of years ago. My grandpa watches your channel. Well, tell him hi for me. How far along are you guys with planting? Well, if you do the math, 54 plus 70 plus or minus 10, 20 acres. Plus 40, 45. That's how much we got left. So they are calling for rain tonight. Wish I had a mountain right there. Tonight they're calling for storms. I'm hoping that it doesn't rain real hard. We do need the rain because it's so dry. This actually isn't bad, I'll be honest. The farm that I'm on right now, the ground it has moisture in it yet. But my tilled field was really dry. It was the driest stuff that I've seen yet. And I try to minimize tillage, except for in that field. I haven't really done min-till there. I've got about 40 cows. Travis is looking at a 7810. Yeah, he really likes the 100 and the 10 series. I kind of miss our 7400 that we had. It was a nice light tractor. Really maneuverable. Oh man, who's your favorite YouTuber? It's actually a pretty good question. I don't really watch too much YouTube anymore. Back when I was in college, I watched quite a bit of it, but over the years, I've tried to minimize my time on the platform because I spend so much time on it already. But if I ever watch anything, it's usually just Netflix. The rest of the time, I'm working on videos. Hey Andrew, how's it going? Do we have auto steer or anything? This tractor has an auto steer demo, but it's not activated because we only had 15 hours on it from when we bought the tractor. And I think I got it down to like 8 or 9. I pretty much only use the auto steer demo on this tractor when I'm flying the drone around, because it really helps me get better shots because I can focus more on flying the drone than trying to do both. Hey, Field Farms, how's it going? Jordan Snyder, $10. Thanks, Jordan. Appreciate it. How's the new bull doing? And also, what are some cool places to check out around Platteville? Bull's doing pretty good. He is currently in the barnyard with Travis's cattle at Rockville. I haven't let him out with mine yet. The ones that were bred of mine haven't started calving yet, which has me concerned because I hope they do pretty soon here so they're not all messed up. I hope they didn't get bred real late in the year because then I got to work on trying to get them all synced up again. But yeah, he's at Rockville. He's doing really good. I plan on letting him out with my cattle probably June or July. And as far as places to check out around Platteville, I'd have to say go check out the M. It's a walk uphill, but it gives you a nice overlook of the town. There was like a creek place that you can go swimming at. I don't know, it was on private property somewhere. I can't really remember the name of it or where it's at. What's your favorite tractor on the farm? Probably the 82. Probably. Just because it's comfortable. Hey Ryan, if you think you'd be interested, I'm going to record a few minutes of you planting cotton. So I don't put none of it on YouTube, so I was curious if you'd like to give me that footage to you. I'd be willing to look at it, and depends on the kind of footage, how much editing I can do. I mean, I'd be interested in doing something with it. Because that's actually something that I would like to do, is travel somewhere and get cotton harvest. Because I've done potatoes, I've done mint, both of which were really neat seeing, so it's been a while. I've actually, as far as like traveling and stuff with COVID, I mean, I haven't really gotten out much. So, hey Darren, how's it going? The 8235R had, I want to say, 1,200 hours on it when we bought it, and it's just over 3,280. Hey Ryan, are you thinking of purchasing any more land to build up your acreage? Bruce. So, I would like to purchase more land. I've actually been looking around deciding what to do because I want to invest in something. And I actually put an offer on a duplex in Platteville to rent out, and that got accepted. So I bought a duplex. I haven't fully bought it yet. I haven't closed on it, but at this point I'm closing at the end of this month. So that's good. I did the math on it, and I'm expecting that to pay itself off fully in 7 years if I keep it fully rented out, but I know that's not going to happen, so I totally expect to have to put repairs and stuff into it too. So then I mean, after I do that and get some of that paid off, I definitely am looking at buying land after that. I know of a couple of places that we might be able to pick up some ground, but that's the problem, is that like with corn prices right now, this is the time when everybody's trying to sell ground, and unless you're trying to cash flow $7 corn to buy ground, I mean, you got to be pretty bold. Do you ever come through Council Bluffs? A couple times. What is a duplex? So a duplex is just a house that is split into two parts, and it's pretty much just two apartments. So we're running about 1,000 acres. What is the best way to get footage? Blue box, or is it blue box? Pretty much just any like cloud storage. If you upload it, just send me the link. As far as the cotton footage goes. Sorry, I'm trying to get caught up in some of these comments. There's a chance of storms tonight in Platteville. I heard about that. We're hoping that we don't get a pounding rain and then it gets really hot, because we just got most of our crops put in and it's been super dry. So if it gets really hot after it rains, there's a chance that a crust will form on top of the soil, and we don't own a rotary hoe, so that kind of puts us into an unusual position. Yeah, it's been a while since I've had a live stream, but my schedule is kind of flipped around now, and I've tried to devote more time to family and friends because I don't like skipping out on that. I did that for a couple years, and so Kevin, fun fact, him and I aren't actually friends anymore. Let's see. Saw the news about the solar farm. Sad to see even more valuable farmland get destroyed. Got the same problems here in Norway. Here, half of what's destroyed isn't even reported. So, the funny thing about the whole solar thing is, like, they're making the big push for everyone to go, like, everything to go solar and wind, renewable energy. Well, if that was what the government wants, if that's what the people want, they should really force utility companies to pay people who provide power to the grid instead of just giving them credits to pay off their own power bill, because then what's the point of going solar? I mean, you'd have a lot of smaller people investing into their own solar, their own solar setups to provide power for the grid if they actually got paid properly for it. So, but that's not the way they want it. They want the utilities owning everything and having control over the power, which doesn't really make sense to me. Anna's around. Well, this is my weekend to go over there. Would you buy a 9620 RX? Would I? Yes. Should we? Probably not. Alright, I'm going to set the camera up here. I'm going to run it a little bit. Really? Can't do that. I want to flip it around so you guys get a good shot of the VT. I'm going to try to keep getting some stuff done. let's see here. All right. There we go. It's really dry here today too. They are calling for rain. The tricky part with these phone mounts is trying to mount them without shutting your phone off during a live stream. Come on. There we go. That's about as good as a view as I can give you. All right, I'm gonna run for a little bit, then I'll stop and answer more questions. This is one of the farms that actually didn't get too much wind damage from last year's derecho. Everything up this way really didn't see too much. Last year, Travis sold his John Deere 630 disc because we just really didn't use it that much anymore, and I think he wanted the money back out of it. He sold it and reinvested it, and from what he told me, he made his money. Pretty sure he doubled his money when he reinvested it. So if you don't use equipment, sometimes it's better to just get rid of it and put that money elsewhere. Sometimes that's a smarter thing to do. Speaking of equipment, this is one farm that I definitely need to bring the go around the outside of the field with because the trees are really starting to push in. I'm gonna hold you. That's a good idea, Parker. Drove by Hippie Hollow yesterday. What's it like? Woodstock? Maybe back in the day. No, there actually used to be a whole town down through there. That actually used to be British Hollow. But after lead mining left the area, they pretty much packed up and left. Everybody moved to Potosi, which is literally just over the hill. So it looks like we're burning about 9 gallons an hour doing this. We bought this tractor back in 14. Not much, Connor. Just trying to finish up vertical tillage. I call it vertical tillage, but it's more like seedbed prep. Hey, TTK44. Pretty good, Brandon. Yourself? Did you ever think about playing Farm Sim again? I used to play Farming Simulator back in the day quite a bit, but after we got the farms and I went to college, I don't really play video games nearly as much as I used to. I mean, I still do, but nowadays, Hannah and I play a lot of Warzone just because we live 50 minutes away. So during the week, it's pretty much just a way for her to spend time together, but not. But that's nice because anytime during the week, we can pretty much just hop on and boom. I hate that game. Warzone player. Wish I wasn't, but you know how it is. You don't have auto steer on any of your tractors. We actually do have auto steer in the 4640. The question that we commonly get asked is, why did we put the planter on the 46 and not the 82? And the main reason being is because the 46 is a lot more maneuverable than the 82, especially on the planter. So the way that we do our headlands is when we finish a row, we pick the planter up and pretty much do a 180-degree turn backwards. So we just start backing up and we back right into the next row, and that's just a whole lot easier with the 4640. It's a lot, in my opinion, faster. What about the Wheelman Pro? Still using it? No. Since we have the ag leader on the 4640, we don't use the Pro. And Travis didn't really like having it on the 76 because we just didn't use it enough. So I've still got it. I just haven't put it on anything. I heard that they came out with a higher accuracy unit that's meant for planting. I haven't heard any more about it though. Do you have GPS set up on all your tractors? No, just the 4640. We have a GPS that came with the planter, and we mounted that on the 82. So I used that for the longest time to fly the drone while I was doing field work. How fast are you going? I'm in 10th gear, doing about, oh, it'd help if I was sped all the way up. Doing 6 to 7 miles an hour. So if you go too fast with this VT, it's really only meant to go 5 to 7. If you go any faster than that, the wings on it start to do bouncing, and then you'll get ribboning, which ribbons are pretty much just bumps out in the field, and it makes it not fun to drive across. So you always want to make sure that you're going at max 7. Seems to me that it does the best job doing that speed. When do you start making hay? Usually June 1st, maybe a couple days earlier. But if we finish in the next coming days here, depending on how much rain we get and how wet it is, I mean, this will be one of the earlier years that we've finished planting. 2 years ago, we didn't finish until really late, and the crops didn't dry down. So you do that once, and you try to get everything in as soon as you can. I'm not sure what Hannah's up to today. Hey Peter, how's it going? Like the videos and channel. Greetings from Belgium, Europe. It's kind of funny because, like, being on YouTube, you start to recognize people. Recognize the same quite a bit over the years. So I still got a lot of people who have been watching since I started. Any breakdowns so far? Nothing major. The first day we started planting, we had issues, but that's going to be in our next video, which I'm not totally sure when that's going to be out. I wish I could have done a video today, but I started working on one Friday night. I got done at like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, yep, this is it for me today. So I got like 2 or 3 minutes done on it. My dad and uncle tried to start the 4440 by rolling it downhill, put neutral, couldn't put it in park. Hit our bin. Ooh, that's not good. 4440, doesn't that have a hydraulic clutch on it? Because to my knowledge, you couldn't do that with the tractors with hydraulic clutches, and I'm pretty sure they started doing that on the 30 series. I mean, we've done that a couple times with our 4020s, but I think we can't do it with our 40 series. I'm having actually a really hard time seeing where I've already been. When's the I Married the Intern video? Oh, don't worry, there'll be one. It has been fun watching you for a few years. You've become quite a competent videographer. You can probably do that as a career. Actually, I started as a photographer, and I've done videography for like weddings and stuff. Honestly, like as far as for both photography and wedding videography, that's where the money's at. But I enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy the stresses of it. The thing about YouTube is it works around on my schedule. I don't have to really I don't have to impress anybody but you guys. So it's kind of counterintuitive, but I don't have to deal with any bridezillas that way, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I should have put the globe back on. Dad took it off because him and Travis, Dad was out VTing with it and he couldn't figure out how to shut up the monitor because it kept making the chirping noises. So they just unplugged it and put it in the house. I don't blame them. I know I could have figured out how to shut it off, but I don't know off the top of my head. I've been thinking about upgrading drones too, because I have the Phantom 4. That one's starting to get aged a little bit. I've had it the longest that I've had any drone. Crashed it a couple times, but I've always have gotten it fixed. I saw that DJI just came out with a new drone, but that's meant for more like photography. I was thinking about getting the Mavic 2 Pro, but then again, that one's starting to get up there in age too, but I don't know. I'm not really crazy about the Mavic series. I had the Mavic Pro, and I just didn't like it. It was too light of a drone. It was nice that it folded up real small, but I'm used to carrying around this one. I can just flip it upside down, and that's that. Have you guys had a bad storm yet this year? Not really. Yesterday was super bad for wind. It was a day just like this, but yesterday was the first time where I was flying the drone, and I actually had to ground it because it couldn't fight the wind. I've never flown. I would anticipate that I would be doing it like before. Yesterday was that it occasionally has to clean out. I really need one of those camera holding gimbals. Is the struggling a little bit? I'll switch over and I'll start doing the other side. What's your thoughts about getting a roller instead of harrowing your beans? I really want to get a roller. I don't like the harrow that we've got for running it over beans, because it's especially harsh when we're doing oats and alfalfa, when we're trying to smooth it off. It started a couple years ago. I picked up a new field and I put it down to oats and alfalfa, and we sent Mom out to harrow with that first harrow, and pretty much smothered out the alfalfa and nothing came up. I'm doing seedbed prep with the VT. It's got the rolling baskets on the back, so it's really good for this. Contract anything yet for this year? Oh yeah. $20. Okay. Dobra robota podoba mi si teskni za basi farmerem pozdrowiam. Can someone Google Translate that for me? Thank you though. Do you have anything planted yet? We have all but 3 fields planted. It's gone pretty quick. What was the first tractor on the farm? Grandpa's first tractor that he bought was a old H. Pretty sure that was his first tractor that he bought. But the oldest tractor that we've got on the farm is the 4020. Grandpa bought that brand new. Well done, I like it. Miss being a farmer, best regards. Thank you though for translating that. So this is a 25 foot VT. Oh man. Ugh. What happened to Fritzy? Haven't seen her at all. So Fritzy actually died, unfortunately. Not exactly sure what happened there. I didn't have her posted or anything, so I never really figured out what happened to her. I shouldn't have stopped here because I don't exactly have the best signal. Have we ever had an Alice Chalmers? Not that I've seen. Not that I know of. Hi from Russia. How's it going? So Travis is actually just over the hill. He's planting my corn right now. I ran the planter a little bit yesterday. Didn't really film too much. I hurt my neck yesterday morning and didn't really feel like filming too much. I did film the video of us using both planters, but when they finished out there, we got them running in the same field. I took over for Travis because he wanted to help Andrew seed down a field of his. Do you like the 8R? Oh yeah, I like the 82. It's a really nice tractor. It's smooth, but it's not nearly as smooth as those tractors that have the ILS. What's the tractor you would like to try? You know what? I'd really like to try in a 4960. Not only buy one, but I'd just like to drive one. Any thoughts of having another farm day? Have thought about it. Not sure if we're going to have one anytime soon. Basically just because of all the work that we put into it. It really disrupts the whole summer trying to plan everything around it. So last year, I mean, we got a lot of work done in the summer as far as like building fence and whatnot. So did you ever switch brands of tractor other than John Deere? We've had pretty good luck with John Deere. If we found a really good deal on like a case or anything, I would consider buying one, but I'm not going to go out of my way to buy equipment that I'm not familiar with. The thing about John Deere is that, well, we do have close case dealers too, so I can't really talk too much there. But we're familiar with John Deere. We know things to watch out for. You should do a weekend helping Wes bale straw or hay. You could run some of his. Not a bad idea. Maybe that's what I should do this summer. Head out and see Wes, considering he's come out and seen us. I've been wanting to go on a trip. Do you still want a 4960? Sure do. I was talking with Travis. I mean, as bad as I would like to buy a tractor, it just doesn't pencil out. You should always be putting your money towards something that's going to make your money back. Not saying that a tractor won't make my money back, but we've got the tractors that are getting us by. They're doing the job that we need them to. If anything, Travis should buy another tractor for making hay, because he could really use it. Even in like another skid loader for him, he's talking about buying one of those for making hay. That would really help. Plus then we'd have another skid steer, and then we'd have one on each farm. And Travis is friends with the John Deere parts guy. Yeah. If you ever decide to switch brands of tractors, what kind of tractor would you buy, and what brand would you go with? New Holland is pretty good. I actually agree. People gave me crap because we tried out that case here 2 years ago, I think. Yeah, it was 2 years ago. And I just wasn't really crazy about it. It seemed like a decent tractor as far as like running, but one thing that I really noticed is like it seemed like they skipped on the cab quality, because the shifter lever was white plastic that was chrome plated, and it broke off, or it was chipping off, so every time you go to shift, you scratch your finger up and you get a little paper cut on it. I don't know, I would expect that they would at least make it something out of a little higher quality than that, but since then Case has changed a lot of stuff with their cabs and stuff, and I've seen them and they do look a lot better. So, you know, not to talk crap about Case or anything, but New Holland, literally the same company. They're literally, from what I know, they're built at the same plant, just right across from each other. But it seemed like on their New Holland stuff, they just chose higher quality materials. So it is what it is. Their option tractors actually look pretty cool. Why don't I own a tractor? Because I've done the math on it, and a tractor will not directly make my money back, which is why I chose to invest in a duplex, because it will make my money back. I was doing the math on it, and hopefully that duplex is going to allow me to buy a tractor. It's the thing about farming, especially if you're smaller, you should always be looking for ways to diversify. The nice thing about renting out a duplex is that it's passive income, so it's not something that I've always got to be on top of. Yeah, if things break, if things need to be fixed, it's something that I can do usually. So, got to do a turn up here. Let's go on top of the hill and work down. Do you have any surprises in the near future, as in equipment? I don't have any surprise purchases coming up, considering I just bought that duplex, but hopefully it should be able to make me my money back pretty quick. Like I said, Travis is talking about buying a new skid steer, so we might see a new skid steer on the farm here in the coming years. Dad's talking about buying a field cultivator for exactly this reason, so we don't have to use the VT for seedbed prep. As nice of a job as it does, the VT is really not meant for this, and doing things like this over time, the more acres that you put on those blades, the less effective they're going to be, and the less effective of a job it's going to do at sizing up the material in the fall. So if we get a field cultivator, I'd like to replace all the blades on this, which I estimate is going to cost about $7,500. And works for me because I actually bought it for twice that last year. So going through and replacing the blades on it, I mean, it pencils out. So you should do custom work. I'm actually looking to do custom work with the JCB and the brush mower, I think there's value in it, but I don't know. There's a difference between having your own stuff to brush mow and wanting to pay someone else to brush stuff, most stuff for you. I'm from Germany. Could you grow organic soybeans? We could. And I will organize a 40-foot container for shipping to Germany. People love their organic soy products over here. Really? I can't think of anywhere. Well, I guess we could raise them down at the valley. Technically, they'd be organic. But we've never certified anything organic before, so we might not be the best people to talk about doing that. It's Sunday. People are out joyriding on their UTVs. And they're the cars that get stuck behind them. All right. This is probably one of my favorite jobs to do. I really like VTing. I did a lot more harrowing this year. Dad did most of the seedbed prep, which I'm fine with. It's nice to be able to switch things up, because in the past I've pretty much always been the one, ever since we got this thing, I've pretty much always been the one running it. It's nice to switch things up and do something different. I did a lot of harrowing. I didn't do a lot of planting this year, which I'm kind of okay with. Next year I think I'd like to do a little bit more though. Especially with like trying to haul corn while they've been seeding. It just works out better if I did the harrowing, which is what I did. Because I can go through and follow up with the harrow pretty quick. I mean, things that would take Travis all day to seed down, I could do in 3 to 4 hours or less. What's your favorite farm or field to work? Good question. This is actually a really good question. My favorite field has to be one that we just picked up, and the one that Travis is working on right now. It's a really long straight stretch. It's a long ridge line, and you pretty much drive from one end to the other in about 10 minutes. So down and back takes about 20 minutes to do. It's nice, straight running. Not a lot of picking it up and turning around. The fields that I don't like to run are the ones where it's pretty much all just short passes. Like if it's a long, Travis has one field that he runs, and it's a long rectangle, but it has to be farmed with short rows. So you do a lot of turning around, and it just makes for a long day when you get going, have to pick it up, spin it back around again, drop it back down, just to have to drive a few hundred feet and spin around again. But that's the way the ground lays, so it's the way it's got to be farmed. Travis is probably going to spend the majority of today over at that farm, just over on the hill. But after that, he's going to come here and start working on this. I'm sure he'll get here tonight, because that's really easy running. As long as he doesn't fall asleep. If you could make a decent income with only cows, would you then have a beef operation? Like, would we go all beef? I mean, I would. The thing is with cattle, I've found is that cattle, like, it can be enjoyable to raise animals, as long as you have like kind of the say or an interest in them. The big thing that we did for the longest time was milk, and they're, you know, grandpa and grandma's cows, so there wasn't much interest in the dairy there. But since I've gotten my own cows, I really do like taking care of them and feeding them. You know, it's really different when they're your own. Do you watch other farming YouTube channels? If so, who? I'm gonna be honest, I have watched other channels in the past. Do I watch much of YouTube at all these days? Not really. Most of the time I spend on YouTube is trying to get my videos uploaded. Olaf said he doesn't have all his twine for this year and doesn't know how much he'll be able to make this year. Huh. So you're saying he won't be making as much as he usually does? How many different color of suspenders do you own? I think you should get the ones with the tape measure on them. Those would be cool. I actually only own 2 different pairs of suspenders, the blue and the red ones. Well, I guess I own 3. There's another blue pair that I own. But like I said, the red ones I pretty much only wear for functionality. The blue ones I do wear when I'm trying to wear nice clothing. Hannah likes them, so. Which kind of surprises me, because I'm like, I don't know if I should wear these around her. I don't want her thinking that I'm too old. I remember a long time ago you used to be a dairy farm. Would you ever go back to dairy? So I actually went and did a tour of UW Platteville's Pioneer Farm, and I'm going to be making a video out of that. And they showed me around. They're putting in robotic milkers, which is actually really cool. But I went in, saw their parlor, and it's just like, I think I would have enjoyed milking cows if we had a parlor, but we had a 75 stanchion dairy barn, and bending over and milking the cows, it was hell on your back. Just ask Travis. I mean, he's still dealing with back issues to this day from milking cows. What's the most embarrassing thing that's happened while working in a field? Well, probably making a full pass without having the VT in the ground. I'm telling you, man, when people call you, it distracts you. Then there's always the time when you stop along the road because you really got to pee, and you're like, I can probably pee before a car comes along, and you don't. What is the main beef breed of cattle in America? In Ireland, the most popular beef breed is Limousin. Just Black Angus here, I think, is the most popular. There's all sorts of different varieties. We, in the past, would take our, well, we had crossbred cattle, but we bred our cows to Gelby bulls, and I just started breeding mine to Black Angus bulls. And I really like the look that the steers have these days. I was just looking at mine, and they have a really nice stature. They look really, really good. Let's see. I'm finishing up this field over here. There's really not much left. Then I can go up and start working by the ghost house. I'll have a little bit better reception. Well, maybe pull 12 gallons an hour. Did you buy a couple bulls now? No, I only bought the one. I really should have bought another one. I don't want to have the same problem I had last year, but once planning's over, I'm probably going to get really serious about trying to find another bull. The problem is, the longer you wait, the harder they are to find. Hey Billy, how's it going? Are you friends with the One Lonely Farmer? Wes and I don't really talk much, but I mean, I'd say he's our friend. My reception's pretty good. That's good. I've got a phone with 5G, but I don't think I have 5G service up here. I'm actually halfway far away from civilization. Feelings on Oliver tractors. I've never ran them before, so I can't give much of an opinion. There's the ghost house up on the hill. Now we actually rent that shed out I've seen some of I don't even know how you say their name. Sonny. I've watched some of their stuff. I've seen their live streams. It's actually pretty cool. They did some of the stuff that I've always wanted to do with like live streaming, like cattle give birth and stuff. Pretty sure that was them. So yeah, I guess I have seen some farming, other farmer stuff. Oh, after I kinked my neck yesterday morning, I took a bunch of Tylenol. That didn't do the trick. So last night when I went home, I took a couple of Excedrin, and that seemed to work pretty good. I mean, I don't have full motion of my neck, but I can at least see behind me. So. I need to go to the chiropractor this week when I get the time. There's a spot that we got to hit yet. I think I got to hit some stuff over there. Yeah, I do, because I came over here. How did you kink your neck? Well, it's kind of embarrassing. It makes me feel old as heck, but I'm rolling out of bed. It's the dumbest thing ever. But I rolled over to get up, and I heard a pop at the base of my neck, like in my bone, and it felt like I pinched a nerve because my hands got numb, and I just kind of laid there for 30 minutes. And yesterday was kind of. I feel a lot better today than I did yesterday. Rocket's right here. He's a co-pilot. He's making sure I don't fall asleep. Right, boy? This is a pretty pathetic waterway. Back there, you mean? Oh, yeah. That's the hard part of hiring out custom application for your spraying, because you never know who's going to be running the sprayer. You can't always be confident that they're going to set things up to how they should be. You'd like to think that even because we map out our waterways, that they won't get sprayed off. They, over time, typically do end up getting narrower and narrower and narrower, and this one is no different. Where is Rockville Lake? Never heard of it. Hey, from Wisconsin. Last pass over here. Are you running more corn or soybeans this year? Pretty sure we're running more corn. Pretty sure. How much more do I have to VT today? I'm gonna assume I got about 10 acres done so far. So 60 plus 40, about 100 acres. And if I'm running at, let's say, 11 acres an hour, I should be able to get done in 10 hours or so. Which puts us about 12 a.m. Whether or not I run that late is another thing. Especially since they're calling for rain at 8 p.m. So. Just a spot up here. Do I like the Packers? Well, if I got to root for any football team, I'm going to root for the Packers. I'm not much of a football guy. My big thing with sports in general is, like, I like seeing them in person. I'm not as big a fan as watching them, like, on TV. Our whole family's just kind of been that way with sports. I really like going to, like, the high school games locally, but I don't like watching games on TV. Hold up, did I read that right? We've been renting government ground to put our cows on, and yesterday while feeding them, the semi-brake disc caught on fire. That's no good. Are you gonna do bottle calves? I doubt we'll go back to bottle calves, just for the simple fact is that it doesn't really pay. We were making money there for a while. I think bottle calves are a good way to get started, like setting them up and whatnot. I think it's a good way to get even started, like farming. But as far as profitability wise, if you've got the ground, you've got the pasture, and you've got the feed, I think that buying bred cows or just breeding cattle and breeding them to your bull, I mean, the cows take care of the calves, and that frees up a lot more time for you to work on other things to make it possible. Because the thing with farming is that you always want to try to be minimizing the time that it takes to do stuff. The more efficient you are, the more money you can make, because either A, the more ground you can run, the more cattle you can raise, or the more other things you can do, like even working off the farm. So it's all about saving time. How many calves have how many cows have calved so far? Dad started calving. I've had one calf. One. So I'm really hoping that my other ones start to drop calves here soon, because I don't want them all out of sync. How's it going, Brazil? Like the entirety of Brazil? Like every single person? Or should I say hola? I've been working on this piece for way longer than I need to. Just doing one quick check. Considering I've been multitasking, I want to make sure I haven't missed a spot. Haven't missed a spot, but there's definitely a spot down there I want to hit again because it's kind of rough. Can you rent a bull instead of buying one? You only need them for a month or so. That's actually one of the routes that Dad went down. The hard part is getting the cows back in. We've pretty much never had any luck getting the cows off pasture once we let them out. And our pastures are so big, they're so wooded, that getting them off just doesn't ever happen. Even when we feed them, like all of them don't come up and eat the feed, so it's easier just to have it in the bowl than just set loose. And then once things start to dry up in the fall, we get them off by feeding hay. They have to come in at that point. I hope that the view here isn't too shaky for you guys. I'm trying to hold it as steady as I can, but I'm also trying to do a decent job at VTing here. So you can see where the sprayer's kind of gone over where it should have. They speak Portuguese in Brazil? Not Spanish? What? I've been lied to my whole life. By my Spanish teacher especially. Huh. What do you know? Good afternoon. How's it going? Oh, it is noon now. Days like this, I really wish I would have packed a lunch. So all I had for breakfast was a bagel. Should make more TikToks? I agree. Okay. I got more of this done than I thought I did. But if you look, whoa, not right here. This is not where I want to drive. I don't know if it's still there, but there used to be a stake right on the edge of that grass. And I just drove right into it. Pretty sure something for the septic for the house used to be right there. What is my least favorite job on the farm? Depends what counts. I don't particularly enjoy building fence, but I like the feeling after you get it put up. Because new fence is really nice to have. Favorite Gundam? Freedom, hands down. Someone's been watching the rest of the story, huh? How do we typically mark such surprises in fields? Well, normally we don't mark surprises, we get rid of them. So there are no surprises. Alright, I did not realize that I pretty much finished this over here. Yeah, Travis is planting just over the hill. There we go. Haven't hit this yet. Help me understand how VT is better than more aggressive disking with a rear harrow gang. Go Platteville. We've never had a disc with rear harrow gang, so I can't really give any comparisons, but from what we've seen, the job VT does right. On the outside, making sure that I've hit everything. Because there's nothing worse getting a phone call from Travis saying, hey, come over here and finish this. This is where the GPS really comes in handy, because you can see every place that you have hit. Pretty sure I've pretty much done all of this. Been watching since the video of you and Travis and his friend Ryan do tillage in the spring of 2017. Keep up the great work. Will do, Cam. Do you miss dairy farming? There's days where I do miss the dairy cattle, but then I realize how things were back then. I mean, there was uncertainty in us getting the farm even, and financial security as well. Just don't really miss that part of it, but I do kind of miss, you know, having the routine of getting up in the morning and seeing the cows. It has its days. So we're done on this side. I'm gonna go on the other side of the ghost house up there. Do you get much crop damage from deer or other animals? Yes, we get tons of deer pressure. Last year, we think that out of my place, we had a lot of coon damage, and we weren't sure if it was bear or not, because in Platteville, just yesterday, they had a bear sighting in Platteville. So that's another thing we've got to worry about. I'm gonna chalk this part up as good. It's a beautiful day out. It's a lot nicer than yesterday. The wind's not blowing nearly as hard. I'm not sure where it was in Platteville. I just saw this scanner page talking about it, and they advised people to just leave the bear alone. It's like, okay. This field is going back to corn. So you can see the corn stalks down there. Picking it up. I'm gonna get out. Have a quick look here. Sorry, buddy. Oh, I'm sorry. I accidentally kicked him with my foot. Sorry, buddy. So, whenever we come out to our farms out here, I always just do a quick check on the driveways, because a couple years ago, right after we got the farms, we had people, I know who they are, driving by the driveways and throwing nails onto them, and we had an issue with it until I started putting the cameras up. So I just wanted to come make sure there were any fresh nails here for me to pull the camera up and send it to the police. So looks like they're good. I don't have to waste time doing that. But fun fact, I just found a old nail from when they did it, and you can see that it's pretty much all rusted away. Looks like that's the only one I can find. Picked up in here. It's kind of cool though, how much it's rusted over time. Sorry, buddy. Rocket. Taking home a little souvenir. There we go. Travis is planting corn. You won't be able to see him unless he's on the hillside at the right time, but he's right over there. Rocket. Yep, there's the ghost house. Topsoil still exists these days. Believe it or not, yes, the topsoil does exist. Sam Hayes, are you in the yield contest again? Fun fact, what we were doing yesterday was actually for the yield contest. So I'll be talking about that in an upcoming video. Rocket dog. I'm gonna do the outside edge. Try not to hit the sign there. Wish I could use my wide angle lens when I'm doing this. planning on making any more music videos. I'm actually working on one right now, and I'm about 2 minutes, I believe, into it, so I've got about half done. I'm sure you guys will see it this summer. So. I'm pretty sure these people invented the definition of petty, James. They're leaving those nails out there. Fun fact, it's never led to a flat tire. Back when it was happening, I mean, every day I'd leave. I would literally just pull out before I got to the driveway and check to see if there were fresh nails. There's one night in particular that we got them on pretty much every single driveway. So, and the best part is right when I first started putting up the cameras, I got them driving by after the fact. It's just like, if you're gonna commit a crime, why would you drive by again? And the second, you could just like see the horror when they saw the camera. It was funny. Back when I was younger, there's only like those farm buildings right there, and now we got a whole suburb coming back in there. It is currently 12:18 in the afternoon. Hey Daniel, what's going on? You guys let me know if my service starts cutting out. Are you looking to possibly buy any new tractors in future years? Yeah, I know that we're talking about buying more tractors. So, one nice thing that we do miss is having the availability of tractors, because right now, whenever we want to do something else, we've got to take one tractor off, then switch it over. Back when we had all of our old tractors, it was nice because you could pretty much just put a tractor on something and leave it on. And it was really nice having that time saver because you could just hop in and go. I mean, yeah, occasionally you have to switch something back over to something else, but it's not like you had to do it every morning and night. Like if you got chores, like for mixing feed, you had a dedicated tractor for mixing feed. I see the solar farm was approved. Your views? My opinions on the solar farm is, I think solar in general is a good idea. I just don't think the way that they're going about it is proper. And money is a huge player here. If it was really about the environment, and I'm going to come down to this field road and turn. If it was really about the environment, what the government would do, what people would force the government to do, is force the utility companies, the power companies, to pay people who put in wind and solar properly for the credits that they're sending back. So, like, if I were to put in solar, any amount of solar, and it would backfeed into the grid, they would not pay me for that. They wouldn't pay me properly for it, and it wouldn't really cash flow quite as well. But if they were to pay you, I mean, I think that you'd see a lot more solar going in, because then people would be getting money back from the power company. And I'm sure it's not like this, like it is for me everywhere, but I know that like in Florida it's a big thing because you can't put in and have the power companies pay you. Like, it's actually discouraged, and I don't really understand why. Corey, hey Ryan, been a fan for a while, wanted to say hi and I enjoy your content. Well, thanks for following, Corey. So, the field rotor. We've actually got more turbines coming in to our county. Lafayette County, like on my drive over to Hannah's, they've got wind over there yet, and I see they're adding more. So I expect we'll probably start seeing them pop up around here too. This is kind of tricky. Oh, deer down there. All right, I'll head back up the hill. Like, straight up. I think cryptocurrencies are great investments. Fun. In like 2012, when Bitcoin was just starting to be a thing, I actually bought Bitcoin. I had 3.5, and I had it on the currency exchange, Mt. Gox, and they all got stolen, and they never paid me back for them. I'll definitely try to keep making great content, Deja Vu. Do you ever talk with any farming YouTubers besides your brother, of course? I'm in a group chat with a couple other of the larger YouTubers, but I don't really participate that much just because I'm gonna be honest, like, I don't have a lot of free time, so the only thing that I really have in common with them is that we're making YouTube videos. I've met a lot of great people doing YouTube, but they live so far away that, you know, you need, like, building relationships and stuff with them. I know you're supposed to do that kind of stuff, but for me, I'd rather spend time building relationships with people that I know and see every day. And at times you will start to neglect your friends and family. So I kind of adopted a self-policy of spending more time on my friends and family at home, because it will lead to the degradation of relationships. So, just a little forewarning for any of you that are thinking about certain channels. Just something to keep in mind. Define conventional corn. Do you mean non-GMO? Because what we refer to as conventional, or what I refer to as conventional, is what we do, which is GMO corn and beans. What's the most boring job to do on the farm? I think harrowing is pretty boring. Ethanol versus consumer edible. So the corn that we produce can get used for cattle feed. A lot of it does go for ethanol. Actually, what most of our corn does is get loaded onto barges and sent south, and where it goes from there is probably towards cattle feed. But there is a lot of corn that gets pulled to put into high fructose corn syrup and other things. This is kind of tricky. I kind of got to weave in and around the buildings. I'm totally with you there, David, as far as non-GMO being a scam. It's literally just a marketing ploy. So there's a survey marker up here in the yard or the ghost house. Let's hop out and see if we can find it, shall we? Because why not? Look at that dust. So there used to be a fence here that made it really easy to find. But there's a survey marker here, and they marked it to figure out where the highest point in the county was. So we're standing on one of the higher points in Grant County. I don't think we are standing at the highest. I think the highest one is in that direction. I don't think it's this far. I think I lost you there for a little bit. So I found our survey marker. Now I'm not totally sure why they would put this in someone's yard, but oh, I just spat on it. It's probably a crime. Triangulation Station, Washington, D.C. for information. Write to the director. $250 fine or imprisonment. Spicy. Disturbing this mark. No, the Plateau Mountain's not the highest. It's somewhere up in Mount Hope, I believe. But they actually did this back in the day because they thought this was one of them, and it actually is. I don't know if it is the second or what. So. Current choices asked, how did wrapping last year's hay work? Tube wrapping, the oatledge that we made actually worked out really well. It kept the stuff for 2 years. I actually just fed the last bale of it last night, and it kept pretty good. Over time, the outside 2 inches do start to mold or start to deteriorate, decompose, but a lot of it inside is still pretty good. So I would like to purchase my own wrapper. That's something that I'm looking at doing. The problem is they're like 20 grand. The ghost house. Let's keep rolling. This is a 2012 tractor. So you guys can see here, these are the soil razor blades. They've gotten pretty dull over time. Still work pretty good. Looks like we clipped one of the lights when folding up. We've kind of always had that issue. It's got a very narrow area to be in when it folds up. Right when we first got it, we had an issue with it breaking that last one off, so it looks like it did it again. Not totally sure what's under there, and not about to ask. Creepy. Ugh. This VT has had its own share of issues as far as the baskets falling off and stuff like that, but for the job that it's done for us, can't complain too much. Hey, buddy. Sorry, I had to take a little detour. You gotta be careful not to hit that marker. This is where we load our corn. This is a rather high traffic. If it reconnects, I'll properly end this live stream. There we go. So, my phone battery is about dead. It's been an hour and a half, but this has been a pretty good live stream. So that's pretty much it for today. I'll be sure to keep you guys posted. I'll try to get my first starting planting video up as soon as possible. Unfortunately, that's a sponsored video, so it has to get approved first. So hopefully that doesn't take too long to get approved. And I haven't done, I don't know, I feel like I've done longer videos in the past. What I always did was, if I was filming a day, hopefully it didn't freeze up on you, but what I used to try to do is, if I was filming on any given day, I would make a video out of just that day. What I've been doing recently is I've been trying to make the videos longer, because it seems like that's what does better on YouTube. The length of content optimally on YouTube these days is like 21 minutes long, whereas when I first started, a video's average length was like 4 to 7 minutes. So I haven't been filming nearly as many videos. I've been doing longer ones, and that's taken longer. It's taken longer and longer, and it takes more and more time to do. So anyway, I'll try to do live streams more often. I always say that whenever I do a live stream, but just trying to find the time to do them these days with editing, just it's very difficult. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and be sure to hit that like button, and be sure to subscribe to tell YouTube that you enjoy our videos and that you think other people should see them too. So see you next time.